Hi. So I'm making a video with a purpose to forewarn people who are thinking of going for a loan. Please be warned. Please be aware that something like this may happen. Not exactly. If not, if you're not warned, you would benefit by knowing who you are dealing with, what conceptions that you have and what happens in reality. It was about taking loan from a bank, which we believe are is a far better option from what we used to hear about zamindars, and we saw it in movies, old Bollywood movies like Mother India and Topi Ka Zameen. No matter how much those people tried to pay back, the loan amount would just not go down. Not very different things happened with us. We were hard hit by it. Um, it was in it was before pandemic that we'd gone for a bank loan, home loan. My sister had gone for it. Now this house, excuse me, was bought in a big city, so uh, the prices are like really steep according to our standards. She stays in a big city, so it was the loan that she had gone for was for 1 crore, 5 lakhs. Now she paid it regularly, the AMIs. Things were stable then, and she also paid 10 lakhs in advance to bring down the EMI, exhausting all her savings. But then, since she wanted to bring the EMIs down, she went for this option. After giving EMIs for a few months, pandemic broke out, and within 6 months, her source of income had just evaporated. There was nothing there. So we'd applied for a moratorium, the dictionary meaning of which is deferment of payment of loan, and there was a big uh, appreciation for the government that it had announced moratorium for all those people who were hit by pandemic and had lost their source of income to pay back the loan. So it's not that you get the moratorium for an infinitely long period of time, but of course, for 6 months or so, so in some cases 1 year, but not more than that. Though there was a second moratorium announced for certain we are pays, but we weren't the one to get that. We'd applied for it, it wasn't considered. So the moratorium ended this January, and the fine print was hid from us that the loan would go back to its original amount. That's exactly what happened. And during this period of pandemic, things were pretty bad. Anyone could crunch into pressure. Most of us felt quite close to the edge, and then paying back EMIs. So what we thought that we don't want to be defaulters. So what let's work out something. We spoke about restructuring to the bank. This bank is ICICI. I don't know whether I mentioned it earlier, but it is ICICI, and one of those top three banks. It gets a place in top three banks of the country. We spoke to them about rescheduling the loan, which because it is one of those accepted ways to deal with um, bad loans where you're not getting regular EMIs. So what you can do is that you could reschedule. Now, why is it accepted? Because it is given clearly in the RBI circular that if you restructure, reschedule, or work out some way, then follow these things. So that's how we came to know that rescheduling is a thing. Rescheduling is that you increase the tenure but decrease the in monthly installments. So every time we spoke about rescheduling, no, don't know what happened. these people heard restructuring. So it was almost like when we spoke about rescheduling, the air would change the sound to restructuring, and they said, we've already restructured. So they had not basically given us any grace period, extended grace period in form of moratorium. They had just restructured in a way that would slit us and many like us apart by uh, raising the interest rate of repayment of loan, by increasing the amount to the original amount, and I'll tell you more about it. So yeah, speaking of the Apex Bank, we wrote to them for more clarity on rescheduling. I wrote to them. My mail was blocked, and they said your mail has been blocked, and this is given below is the reason. No reason was given. I tried every number that's there for RBI for more clarity. 98% none of those phones were picked up, and if 2%, one or two people picked up the phone they gave me, they directed me to an email ID which either did not exist, or it didn't exist anymore. I mean, defunct email ID. And they just washed off their hands. They washed their hands off. Sorry, wrong English. So of everything, they didn't respond. They said we are not deal with your bank, or write to these, or go to RTI. We had written, by the way, to the finance minister also. Our mail wasn't responded to. We wanted some kind of a respite in form of rescheduling. We aren't running away from paying back our loan. Next thing is ICICI. Yeah, my sister goes to this bank, and she finds that her loan has gone back to the original amount. Now, how do you compare it with Zamindari system? Was it wasn't it supposed to be a respite? All those measures that were taken for 6 months or whatever, they they're scavengers, and the existing home loan is 6.7, and these people were charging her 8.4% because they said they lost out on money in those 6 months. Imagine so many people. Actually, there are mosquitoes. I had kept the door open. I forgot to shut the door at the evening time, so there were many mosquitoes. Anyways, so I have lost the train of thought. Yes, I was talking about interest rates. Yes. So that's just think about it. Just think about it, but about how many people have run away from the country with the hugest loan. And if you spend 5 minutes on net, Google it out. Most of the NPA, that's non-performing assets of the banks, is on account of these big corporates. They don't pay back, or they just run away. So what these people do, they nab more virtuous small fishes, and they try to compensate their inability to get money from the corporate these shark corporate houses. That's how they function. I mean, and look at them. They want to know all about the KYCs, know your customer, but they wouldn't tell us while we had applied for moratorium. See, we will increase your loan again to the original amount. So forget about the 15 lakhs that you've already paid. We will again bring it back to the original loan amount, and we will also increase the uh, rate of interest. How would these people survive, these small businesses? people. Talking of us. I don't want to talk cut a sorry figure. Then things are. I don't want to talk about it. Okay, but talk about businesses. So these are the kind of banks we have. Do you trust these guys? And when you and there is a big uh, article. It's a journal article, so it's something believe reliable. It's a you can believe what they are, the data they have presenting. They say that the informal sources are n times better because they usually twist their rules according to the customers. But when you try and find out who these informal sources of loan are, you would not find them. You would find these private banks who would take even higher interest rates. So those informal sources, where are they? I mean, do you expect people to go to some uh, throat slitting lender who who would slit your throat if you don't pay them back? So this article which spoke about how nice is this microfinance that's that's uh, there in Bangladesh. By the way, Bangladesh also reschedules its loans big time, and people really pay back because most of the people in the country or anywhere in the world, most of them, 95% maybe, they're virtuous people. They want to pay back. They want to do the right thing. You push them into tight corners and you say the world is bad. There are 5% people who are really selfish, like they're made that way, pathological problem. Most of us, we're still trying. For us, we will, or we have already thought of a way to get rid of that loan, but you have no idea. There's no space to breathe. How we've arranged selling off everything and whatever. So if you're thinking that you'll run your business taking loans from banks, make sure you contact the right bank. The apex bank of the country, RBI, just does not help. It keeps its doors shut to anyone who asks for clarity. They just don't want to deal with people. They want to deal with banks, and banks twist and turn their rules and regulation. Because just before ending this video, there is this SURFACE Act, something of that sort, in according to which if you're supposed to give a person 3 months of grace period, you're just supposed to communicate through uh, postal communication when they default on their loan, and after that you give them 2 months out and out, uh, what should I say, additional time period, so 5 months in all. And when they still don't pay, that's when you take action. Most of the people we know who are dealing with ICICI, at least the person, some recovery agent would present himself or herself, mostly himself, the next day of your repayment date, and they would keep frequenting your place. So what kind of harrowing circumstances do they create? They don't let you get rid of the loan. They don't reschedule your loan. They keep increasing the amount. They keep increasing the interest rates. um, I've even heard they sell the not just heard, actually, one example I had seen. Um, so it's a first hand observation that they sell away the property at like really throwaway prices, and the person who buys it is actually those bank people, one of those connections of the bank people. And you must have heard this story that somebody's company was sold away because he could pay the AMI, but the company had a really good uh, direction it was following. So whoever bought it, whoever bought it sold it to the person who had conducted this auction. Understand this nexus that you're dealing with. Go to the right bank and scream about the problems that you have because they just don't listen. Scream in the sense make your voice heard, not actual screaming. That's all that's coming into my head at the moment. Be safe. There's no difference between zamidars and these people. They are such mm, profit. They're just driven by profit. No empathetic system in place. Right? Bye.